Good afternoon, my dear students. Today we are going to see a new topic, diversity in living organism. What is the meaning of diversity? If you see this world, we can see different types of plants and animals around us. That is known as the diversity in living organism. Okay, so if we are taking from a unicellular animal to a multicellular animal, there are millions of animals and plants seeing living around us. In this chapter, we will learn about the diversity in living organism, how it is classified depending upon the similarities and dissimilarities. Okay. So, as I said, our world contains diverse living organisms. There are different types of animals are there, different types of plants are there around us. So, from microscopic bacteria, we can see the largest animal like a blue whale. So, we can see different type of plants around us like redwood trees of California of 100 meters of height. Okay, so some pine trees live for thousands of years while small insects like mosquitoes die within few days. So life also ranges from colorless or even transparent worms to brightly colored birds and flowers. So we can see around us different types of plants and animals. So we will learn about how it is classified and how the different types of organisms are there in our world. So now we will see what is the basis of classification. So, first of all, attempts of classify living things were started long before. That is done by Greek thinker Aristotle, classified animals according to whether they lived in land or in water or in air. The animals which live in land, water, and in the air. So that after that, it was a very simple way. After that, too much confusion came because some animals live in both in water and on the land. So after that, after so many scientists came and with so many classification, so the next one is came. So basic of of the classification is the characteristics. Means similar characteristics organism will be in one group and another dissimilar characteristics organism will be in another group. So before we go on, we need to think about what is known as the characteristics. So, when we are trying to classify a diverse group of organisms, we need to find ways in which some of them are similar enough to be grouped together. These ways, that is known as the maybe similarities, that is known as the characteristics. Okay, what we mean by characteristics is a particular form or a particular function. So that most of us have 5 fingers on each hand is a characteristic. That is a character. Okay. So then we can run, but trees, can they run? No. So who can move will be grouped together in one group, and who cannot move that will be in the another group. So like that, seeing the similarities and dissimilarities, that first classification happened. Okay, which is similar, which group is similar came into one group and another, depending upon the characteristics, different types of groups came. So this is the basic of classification. Now we will look at some important characteristics which lead to the classification. So we can divide organism into two categories. One is prokaryote and eukaryote. Depending upon the, you can see in this slide, depending upon nature of the cell, organisms can be divided into prokaryote or eukaryote. Prokaryote means the organism which does not have nuclear membrane, whereas eukaryote means it will have a nuclear membrane. So basic classification is depending on this prokaryote and another group is eukaryote. Then another thing is the unicellular or multicellular, the organism which is only one celled. That is not that example in the case of amoeba, paramecium that will be in one group, and the organism which is more than one cell that will be in the multicellular. Autotrophic or heterotrophic. Autotrophic means the organism which can produce their own food. Heterotrophic means the organism which depend upon the other organism. And level of organization. So like this, these are the characteristics used for the hierarchical classification. Okay, so for the classification of the organism, these are the basic characters which scientists used. So now we will see what is classification and evolution. So all living organisms are identified and categorized on the basis of their body design in form and function. Some characteristics are likely to make more wide-ranging changes in the body design than others. So characteristics that came into existence earlier are likely to be more basic than the characteristics that have come into existence later. So for an organism, first character which came that will be the primitive one, and later acquired characters will be little more advanced. So one scientist named Charles Darwin described the idea of evolution in 1859 in his book The Origin of Species. So in that he said like that the character which we already acquired, that is the primitive character. After that, so many characters, secondary characters we will take from maybe slowly from the nature we will take that are advanced or higher characteristics. Okay. The biologist such as Ernest Haeckel, this is the picture of Ernest Haeckel. This is another scientist, Robert Whittaker and Carl Weiss classified all living organisms into broad categories called kingdoms. Okay, the organisms are divided depending upon the similarities and dissimilarities. This scientist divided the organism into five kingdoms, five categories. So, first one is Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. Okay, so these five names you have to learn and these characters. Okay, depending upon the different characters, it is divided into Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. Okay, so now you can see five kingdom classification. So organisms are divided. First of all, the organisms are divided into prokaryote and eukaryote. Prokaryote means the organism doesn't have nuclear membrane. So that group of organism came under the kingdom Monera. Okay, learn the spellings. That is the kingdom Monera. The eukaryotes, in the eukaryotes that have nuclear membrane, it's divided into two, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular means it have only one cell. That is came under the kingdom Protista. Okay, examples paramecium that we will see later in detail. Okay, in the multicellular, it is again divided into with cell wall and without cell wall. So again with the cell wall it is divided into phototrophic, that is plantae means plants, all type of plants on this earth. Then heterotrophic means the organism which depend on others for food, example fungi. Okay, so here without cell wall, that is animalia including us, that is in the kingdom animalia. Okay. So further classification is done by naming the subgroups at various level. So you can see the scheme. What is that? First one is kingdom. Okay, already we have seen five kingdom. That will be the first. Okay, then when we are coming down, it will become more similar characteristics will come in one group. Okay, then after that kingdom, phylum will come. Then after phylum, class. So if you are taking Animalia, chordata. Chordata means the animals which have not that backbone. Okay, then the class is Mammalia. Then it is coming to order, then family, genus and species. Finally, it will come to the species. Okay, so the species will have little more accurate characteristics. Means if we are taking human beings, our scientific name is Homo sapiens. Sapiens is the species name. So when we compare other organisms like apes and other monkeys and all, specific name will be different. Okay, so maybe kingdom Animalia, then little more similar characters, chordata, phylum, then class, order, family, genus, and species. Okay, so thus by separating organism on the basis of hierarchy of characteristic into smaller and smaller group, we arrive at the basic unit. This is the basic unit of classification is known as the species. So we can define species as the species are a group of organism that is similar to breed and perpetuate. Means organism which can breed, a group of organism which can breed between themselves. That is known as a species. Okay.